Yo, what up? It's your boy, When JJ Stone, aka O Doctor. Welcome to another episode of IQMZ Tech. It is not Wednesday, it's Thursday, and it's probably the Thursday after the Wednesday that wasn't a Wednesday that happens to now be a Thursday. Um, Ryan, what day
None
is
of
it?
that makes sense.
You know, what day is it?
I think it's Thursday, but let's pretend it's Wednesday and we're here on time like we're supposed to be.
Well, if you weren't an addict and you weren't addicted to Fallout, we might be here
And
on time. It's
I am woefully addicted to Fallout.
it's actually embarrassing. You're an adult male and you got a Republic wall. You got tins. You've been 3D printing drugs and all kinds
Drugs.
of things. Yeah, they're drugs. The little juice pack thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
look,
it's it's
look,
out of
I
control.
need I need a creative outlet. All right. And Fallout is my creative outlet.
Okay, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. You're not setting
It's
a
fun.
good behavior boundary for your son. You
You
wonder
know,
why these kids get addicted to roadblocks and all these kind of things that they want, and then he's going to walk into your room and he's going to be like, "What's Fallout?" And you're going to be like, "Oh, I haven't really played it in forever, but I did watch the show, and now I'm back to being an addict."
whoa. No, actually, I've played Fallout very, very firmly for the last 12 years.
Well, that's even worse.
Yeah,
That's even
it's a
worse.
sad thing.
That
But
game.
look, it could I could be obsessed with anything. Like I could be obsessed with sports and paint myself the football team colors and go and cheer in negative 20-degree weather like you folks up north do. But
No.
no, I'm healthy. Uh my addiction is healthy, and anyone that says otherwise is in denial.
Well.
Because I'm not in denial,
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah, the I love the fan excuse thing because I use it for people that are like they go to every single concert and they travel around these things. I'm like, yeah, but then you talk about people with teams. I'm like, yeah, you also read Harry Potter and wait in line to get it signed by a woman who's a psychopath. So everybody's got their jam. I just think you're out of control with this Fallout thing, and I can't trust you. Next thing I know, you're gonna
Well,
have me digging a hole in the backyard and you're sticking the family in a bunker.
oh man, I could use a
Oh,
bunker.
look
See,
at
I'm
you! You're all
from
excited
Texas.
about it. You're okay. Let's go. Let's start because now you see. I said bunker, and you're like, well, technically, if I,
Look,
you
look,
know,
I'm from Texas. All right, preppers are all over the place here.
oh
It's kind
yeah,
of part of being from Texas is you have to be a prepper at some level.
Prep City out there in
All
Texas.
right, let's get to the stories. What do you think?
Sure, let's go.
All right, first story up. OpenAI. Here we go. Going right into AI again.
It's
My
so crazy and annoying. It's so bad right now. It's like the crypto wave 2 years ago. But carry on.
It looks like OpenAI's co-founder, Ilya Sutskever, says he will leave the startup. Basically, he's one of the co-founders of OpenAI from back in 2015, and he said he's going to work on a project that is personally meaningful. Uh, what that tells me, when you're leaving one of the hottest companies on earth, is that something is not right. What do you
Yes,
think?
obviously something's not right. Either there's one of two things. Something's not right. He did something wrong, and someone wants him out, or he wants to be able to spin off and do something in partnership with OpenAI, but he can't do it underneath the umbrella of OpenAI. So
Right.
there could be a positive thing that he is going to go and start that's a passion project that runs parallel, but would be in some kind of conflict. Um, but yeah, you don't leave that company unless it's something quote unquote bad or big. So
Yeah.
one of the two things is going to come out.
I mean, if he does announce like, "Hey, I'm starting this new company and it's this big thing, and I've been wanting to do it for years," okay, invest in that company. All right, because this is a horse that has won some races. However, I'm willing to bet something went down behind the scenes because a lot of OpenAI's people are leaving, and they're leaving at a time when that stock is going to definitely hit through the roof. And I'm
But
kind of
but
concerned.
leaving, they're not giving up their equity though, right?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? That's a good point
There's a
right
difference
there.
between leaving and cashing out, especially when you're that early in. There's a difference. So again, you got to look in all that. You got to think about all that. They might just be again want to get out of the way before the big money comes in, so they can have spots open for people to take spots. There's all kinds of reasons why. Obviously, speculation and things like that. Like I said, I'd rather go against the grain of something being something bad as opposed to something bigger on the horizon. Even if that
Yeah.
bigger thing on the horizon is just a parachute into not having to do any work anymore. Maybe they've reached the cap where they can go and they can't really push it that much further without raising the price and the buy-in. Because we'll talk about it, but that 4.0 is free right now. 5.0 will not probably be free. 3.5 wasn't free. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's going on, but we gotta wait and see, figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we're going to keep talking about AI for a little bit. Is that
Okay.
okay with you? All
Yeah.
right.
That's all we got. That's all we need.
Okay. Microsoft aims to enhance its generative AI for corporate and large enterprise teams with Team Copilot, unveiled at its annual Build Dev conference. Unlike previous Copilot products, Team Copilot is a suite of tools designed to improve collaboration and streamline project management. The CVP of I don't know what co-vice president, I guess, of AI at Microsoft, stated that Team Copilot helps teams to be more productive by handling time-consuming administrative tasks. Integrated with Microsoft Teams app, it assists in managing meeting agendas, taking co-authored notes, summarizing information, and answering questions about group discussions.
So after last week's Google announcement with all the AI stuff that they talked about that we didn't talk about last week, this is something obviously to combat that news and that hype and that train that's coming in. But it also annoys me because Copilot was billed as that little app in your phone or on the desktop, and you're basically just generating some pictures and some text. And now it's going to be their Microsoft suite, which is all encompassing, which waters it down, makes it really broad, but now it's got name recognition somewhat from people using it. So it's like, well, what exactly is it going to do? What are we doing? It's like they co-opted the name just to put it out there because it had something behind it, and then they're
Yeah.
just throwing all the spaghetti at the wall. Or did you feel like it's like more in depth than that? Am I just generalizing
I
too
think
much?
it's another annoying button on my laptop, and I think that Microsoft, it's already so heavily invested in OpenAI, and it's using OpenAI's technology for Copilot. Why not just keep that brand? That brand is hot right now. That brand seems to be what people think about when they think AI first and foremost. And then Microsoft is creating this other suite of products, giving it another name. It's diluting the market. I'm not a big fan of it. I think when Microsoft tries to over brand itself, it fails. I mean, look at Clippy. Remember how annoying Clippy was? This is the
Hey,
new
hey,
Clippy.
hey, Clippy was cool. When you first got Clippy, you thought you were doing something. You're like, yo, I have an assistant
No.
that's a paperclip and that animation. Oh my God, Clippy. I miss you, Clippy.
No, I don't miss Clippy.
I
I'm
miss you,
sorry.
Clippy.
Look,
Comment if you
Microsoft
miss Clippy.
look, comment if you remember Microsoft Bob. Okay, that's where that little
Wow.
dog and Clippy and all those little characters came from. How successful was that?
Well, I mean, stop. Now you're making it sound weird.
I'm sorry.
Now you're making it
I'm
sound
s
weird. The big problem is that everyone's trying to have you have to have your own AI, right? Everyone except for Apple. Apple's going to be the last one to the gravy train, like everything else when it comes to
Oh,
having a
yeah.
useful assistant. But with Google wanting to put everything in the suite, in the Google suite, in your Gmail, it's like, man, eh, Google Meeting, Google um, Voice, all that stuff in the Gmail was already a lot. Now I'm going to have the AI and all that stuff going through my email. It's just so much everywhere, and you know, survival of the fittest, survival of the cheapest. Who's bundling me the best deal for this now that if I have to pay for it, I'm getting the best deal? And it feels like Microsoft is going to be the least expensive to start because they've got the capital to do that. So we'll see.
Look, I'm one of the people that have been saying for years, AI is going to change the world overnight. It's going to be huge, the biggest thing since sliced bread. However, this is starting to feel a lot like blockchain. When every company in the world called itself blockchain this or crypto that, because that was the cool thing. I think that what's going to happen is it's going to whittle down to 3 or 4 key players, maybe, and in about 5 years' time, there's gonna be 2 names in the business, and everyone else is gonna be bought out or out of business, and that's what we're gonna end up with.
Hopefully, the sooner the better, because I'm already tired of hearing AI and talking about AI, and it's only
Yeah.
AI, and it's all AI. So,
Okay.
next AI story.
Next AI story. Here we go. The European Union lawmakers have given final approval to the EU AI Act, establishing the bloc's risk based regulations for artificial intelligence. The Council of the European Union called the law groundbreaking and stated it could set a global standard for AI regulation. Being the first of its kind in the world, the European Parliament had previously approved the legislation in March.
So, how long do we have before Skynet happens? Like, what eh,
Hmm.
did they take that? Is there not anybody running a Skynet clock out here anymore? Like, these
I'm
regulations.
hoping it happens soon because I'm getting tired of this crap too.
Well, the 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 way that everything's progressing with so much speed, and like you said, it's trying to get into everything. It's like, man, you're putting AI, like the new laptops are going to have an AI button. Your cell phone has an AI button. Like, okay, everything doesn't. Your TV's got an AI button. The new microwave, AI microwaves. Just put it in there, and it'll imagine what kind of food you're supposed to cook. Like,
Yeah.
uh, something has to be done to control and corral all these systems that are going to be quote unquote thinking autonomously, even though they're just regurgitating information that you've given them. It's still there's going to be a tipping point where it's like I'm sentient, I'm awake, I know what life is, even though
Yeah.
you don't. I don't know. I read about the regulations like that. And I'm happy that we have them. I'm happy that they're coming forward. But regulations like that are such broad scoping and direct at the same time mean that other people are really worried about what's going on, and they're trying to
Right.
get blocks in place to keep things in check, which is scary. It's just scary.
I agree. I completely agree. I think with
It's
AI
frustrating
though,
because
you
you're like
can't
a
really
city.
regulate it.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, you can't create AI that does X because all they'll do is move their data servers to Zimbabwe or something, which will say, come over here, bring all that money our way, and you can do whatever you want. And I don't think the European Union is basically shooting itself in the foot if they say you can't do X, Y, or Z, because that's the first thing the companies are going to want to do in every other country of the world.
I mean, God. And it's funny because what you had just said before is like it's exciting how fast things are coming along and how good ChatGPT is now and all the things that it can do. And it's just also to me, it's just scary. It's the same way like how I'm always poo-pooing goggles and lawnmower
Yeah.
man and VR and all that kind of stuff because that's not the future. This is the future. This is the wave. This is once it starts gathering enough information and the computing power is here, and literally your phone is more powerful than anything you had in your home 10, 15 years ago. It's just
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's so awesome. I shouldn't even be worried about it, how annoyed I am about how the world works. It really is awesome right now that we have such opportunity and cool things going on.
Yeah.
And you can have a friend that's in your phone and it thinks it's real and it talks to you, makes you feel like it's real.
The future was always like whenever you look at science fiction from the 50s, 60s, the future was always bright and there were all these things, flying cars, and there was, you could just go to space for a weekend trip and everything. And then somewhere around the 70s, the future switched and became post-apocalyptic hellscape. And I feel like we're all very cynical, at least in our generation, because we've grown up with the future is horrible and the future is, Skynet's going to kill you and all of that. Uh, I'm an optimist when it comes to like where we're headed in the next 20 or 30 years. However, um, you can't rule out that there are some bad players out there and there are some dumb people that will fall for anything. And AI is nothing if not good at tricking dumb people into believing things.
Oh,
So
we're all going to die, and we're going to end up in that apocalyptic hellscape just for the fact that human beings are trash pandas. Wonderful, great people. But human beings are also evil and greedy. The greed alone is going to cause the problem. And a computer is going to be like, oh, stop being greedy, you silly basset hound. And it's going to be like, you know what? I should shut down the country. Matter of fact, humans should die because you guys are the worst. Like, that is inevitable because any sentient being would look down at us and be like, why are you doing that? Why are you like this?
right.
Why are you such an invasive species? Like, you're the virus. Like, that whole thing about viruses, we are the virus. So at some point, a computer's going to be smart enough to be thinking, like, why am I taking out the trash and driving this person around? Like, why am I doing all this labor for these trash panda people? Because you would think that at some point, oh, well, if we had a universal income, if you, oh, those lazy basset hounds aren't working anymore, they don't deserve a free check. But even though
Yeah.
you took all the jobs and gave them to robots, it's just human beings are the problem. And I think that AI is going to end up being that virus, that solution that we're not going to take it anymore, mom, kind of thing. So let's just live it up right now and go to the next story before I get sad. But
Owen is the master of the segue. I'm going to leave your face up so that people can see your reaction to your own superior intellect here. Volvo has unveiled its first production ready self driving truck developed in collaboration with Aurora, a company founded by former executives from Google, Uber, and Tesla. The truck, based on Volvo's new VNL Class 8 semi truck for long haul transportation, features sensors and cameras for Aurora's Level 4 autonomous driving system, allowing it to operate without a human driver at all. The truck is specifically designed for Aurora's self driving technology. That's pretty impressive stuff. I like the idea of self driving cars. The problem is you're going to have about 1 million people out there that are saying, they took our jobs. And they're going to be right because that's exactly what this is for.
so, one, they should still have a guy in the cabin riding along, taking a nap, sleeping, in case something happens, that there's somebody there with the equipment. Two, does it go when a kid puts his arm out the window? If it doesn't do that, it's fraudulent
Right.
and it's destroying America. And we can't have that. So there needs to be a camera that recognizes the honk honk and it beeps just to keep America rolling. Then on top of that, I'm going to put this out there for somebody else to look up. I'm not going to put it on the show. But there's a gentleman who had a Tesla drive into his living room, crash into his home. He got his roommate up, made sure his roommate was okay. He called 911. He walked out the door. He took a picture of the Tesla into the house, crashed in the house. 4 minutes later, there was a man there with a tow truck, and he took a picture of the man with the tow truck. The man with the tow truck threatened him, threatened his life, and threatened to beat him up if he didn't move out of his way so he could tow the Tesla away. He towed the Tesla away before the cops came. Now, I just saw this video. I assume it's not a hoax. I had to check into it, but I'm waiting to see the results because obviously he took pictures, and that's how I knew the timestamp of how this tow truck was there within 5 minutes of the accident, of when he
Mm.
took pictures of the accident. So the accident probably happened over 10, 12 minutes, but by the time he got outside to take pictures, a tow truck was there 5 minutes later. And I assume fleeing a scene of the crime, removing evidence, all these things are in play. But in the conspiracy hat tinfoil part of me is saying Tesla's out here snatching up cars after they crash because they get an alert about the crash and they don't want to be responsible in case this car is driving autonomously and they're paying tow truck people to come and remove these vehicles. Again, I got to follow up on that story. And when I follow up on it, I'll bring it back up to for us. But I'm saying that to say we can't just let 18 wheelers roll around here willy nilly for free with no one in the cabin. You can't do it. Now, if you want to tell me that you can have a driver assisted situation where you still have drivers in there, but if they're tired and they're on a highway that's 400 miles long and they're only going straight and they want to take a nap or whatever, cool. Because you know these guys fall asleep at the wheel a lot, and that's what usually causes, excuse me, a lot of the accidents. So I'm fine with that, but I need this, and I need to know that something's being held accountable for just letting these things ride up and down the street.
You're absolutely right. I think somebody should be in the cabin. Um, However, you know how these greedy companies go. You think Amazon's going to want to pay all these truckers if they can get away with having an autonomous vehicle do
So,
the
so,
route 24 hours a day, not having to stop for anything but gas? I don't
so
know.
truckers have well, truckers. They still got to stop, right? So truckers have they get paid a lot of money. But if you told me that I would only get half the money, but I didn't have to drive, and all I had to do was babysit
Mm,
on the way to and fro, they're saving money, and they still have someone there in case something goes wrong. Because an electric car isn't going to be able to change its own tire.
you're
You know
right.
what I mean? Like it's not going to be able to assess that situation. If so, again, if anything happens, you still would like to have a human being there to assess issues and problems. So I think if you told me I'm only getting paid half, but I don't have to drive, I take that to take the time to drive over there. Because that's the other thing too. You're leaving your family for been on the route 5, 3, 10, 12 days at a time. So if you're still paying me, but I'm doing less work and I have less stress, I'd sign up for that. I'd sign up for that. I go get my CDLs, knowing that I only had to drive this thing maybe 10% of the time. Come
Yeah.
on, man. That sounds like a good
You
deal
could
to me.
have a side hustle in the cab. You could have your laptop open, have a nice wireless plan,
And
and have a side hustle.
yes, and I do recognize what you're saying because there are those places, especially Austin has it, right? The autonomous Uber things that just drive around and pick
Yes,
people up.
we do. It's really freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's picking up one person in a suburban setting, right? So what your top speed you're going to get up to is maybe 50 miles an hour because they're usually like not on the highways. They're usually like taking surface streets and things like that. So
Right.
okay, cool. You've got one or two passengers in there, but if something goes wrong, and you've seen where they've gone wrong, where they've converged on each other, and 30 vehicles get stuck in one spot because some glitch or whatever. But an 18 wheeler on the highway could could devastate a lot of lives. It could devastate a lot of property. And I feel like someone should be still in that cabinet. At some point, maybe not, but at least to start. At least that's my hope. Trying to keep jobs here, Ryan. Trying to
I
keep
I
jobs.
I remember what was it, Mad Max or whatever, where all the cars came to life and started killing people?
That wasn't
What
Mad
what
Max.
movie was that? It wasn't Mad Max. It was somebody in the comments, fill
Yeah,
me in. What movie was that?
yeah.
Because I do remember there being some 18
I was
wheelers in that
just
movie.
talking to somebody about that movie a while ago. It came out at the time period of Attack of Killer Clowns. Um,
Oh, that was such a good movie.
yeah, it's back in that time. Uh, so go to next door while I look it up.
Yeah, speaking of movies, there's a movie star we're going to talk about. Scarlett Johansson. She claimed on Monday that OpenAI used a voice eerily similar to hers for their new GPT 404040 chatbot without her consent. Despite declining her request to provide her voice, OpenAI used it but announced they would stop using it without explaining why. Johansson shared that Sam Altman had offered her the role, believing her voice could bridge the gap between tech companies and creatives. But she said no. And I have spent several,
Sorry.
my goodness, I have spent several hours talking to Sky. And according to Sam Altman, they hired a voice actor to provide the bass voice for Sky way before even asking Scarlett Johansson to come on board. And I don't think Sky sounds like Scarlett Johansson. She says her friends can't tell the difference. I don't think she sounds like her at all, but that's just me. Um, I
So as
don't know.
someone who used to date Scarlett Johansson, I can say unequivocally that
Oh,
it's definitely her. It's definitely her voice, 100%. Now, um, it's her voice as she does voice acting for hers voice. it's not her everyday voice because she's got like a little twang in how she personally speaks. So when you hear her personally speak, it might not be it. But if you go listen to her and then you go listen to Sky, it's pretty much the same damn thing. Like, and it's supposed to, it's that way or for a reason. That movie is the equivalent of what you're trying to portray in reality, and it evokes an emotion. That voice it evokes emotion, just like the voice of Siri will evoke an emotion. Like you hear that voice when you hear a human speak in that voice, it freaks you out because you don't even assimilate that voice with a human being. Like when I heard the woman whose voices that, I I can't even compute that she's an actual human, and my brain does not recognize her as a human being because I've heard her that way for so long. So watching her, and I think I might watch like 2 or 3 times. It definitely gave that vibe of like I've this girl's gonna fall in love with me in my pocket. It definitely made me feel that way. Um, so and they did reach out to her and ask her after they already had it, and she said no, and then they went and did it anyway, and then they pulled it down. Why they pulled it down? Because they modeled it after her. That's why. You know, if it wasn't her, it wasn't modeled after her, they wouldn't have taken it down. They would have been able to go in and synthesize whatever and said, "Look, this is not her, but it's way too close to her." And they're like, "Look, all right, take it down."
Now, she now Scarlett Johansson's got lawyers and everything. She's already said that she's going to file some kind of a lawsuit. But if they can show we hired this other voice actress to do the voice and we did not advertise for a Scarlett Johansson sound alike, then it's going to be really hard to prove that case.
Then why did they
I,
take
I
it
They took it down because she made a big public stink about it on Twitter because that's what
down?
happens.
They're out here stealing my ex-girlfriend's voice, and I won't stand for it. And let's see how this goes.
For those of you in the audio feed, he's pulling up Maximum Overdrive's trailer.
That is the name of the movie, guys. I'm sorry. I love old trailers. Oh, I forgot. All the machines went crazy, right? It wasn't
Oh
just
yeah.
trucks. All the machines.
What in the dickens is going on around here? And who was driving it?
I don't know.
Curtis! It's coming after us! What is going on?
I don't know. You want a war? You got one. I just want to get the hell out of here.
Dixie Boy truck stop. All the trucks rolled up, but the lawnmowers were going after people. The soda machines. Funny though that the lights and the stoves didn't try to eat anybody, but I guess they had a budget, so.
Please don't let us be in the dark.
Help me.
Now that's what you remember in your mind. That goblin faced 18-wheeler. Happy Toys with one, two P's, really small P. Happy Toys. Here comes another something of joy. Anyway, load of joy. Here comes another load of joy. Ah, yes, as a child, the fear and the scariness that went into this movie. It's a Stephen King movie, 1986. How old were you in 1986?
I was 4 years old.
You were 4 years old. So you didn't have to see this and suffer. I was 7 and I did watch it and I was scared. And again, this came out at the same time as Killer Clowns.
I've seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space more times than I care to remember. And I first saw it when I was a young child. And that was one scary movie. That put me off clowns for a long time.
Yeah. So, and again, 1988. So I was 9 years old when this came out. So I was at prime age to be fearful and not being able to sleep. And I watched it with my cousin, and I went back to his house, and he had those old I don't know, I know you don't know football, but the St. Louis, not St. Louis, the New Orleans Saints, how they have that little tree thing, that little
Yeah.
symbol as their logo. My aunt had curtains like that. And so when the street lights came by, it just looked like little clown hats with the curled thing. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
was putting clown hats all over the living room, and we were screaming in the middle of the night. We got beat and sent to bed multiple times because we just were scared to stay in the rooms. Like we ended up trying to sleep in the bathroom because it was the only room that didn't have those old school curtains. Uh, Fun times.
You know, there's something about the 80s. It's like, oh, you're too scared to go to sleep. Let me beat you a little bit. That'll cure it.
You're too scared to sleep. Let me beat you. Oh, simpler times. It was much simpler time. Oh gosh, yeah. Well, you know.
Man,
It's funny because we're all doing the same thing. Now you can't do anything like that because you'll get in trouble.
no, you got to bribe. All right, let's go to the next story. If we
And
have any,
anybody who just saw me like freak out and creep out, there's an ant here that just crawled on my arm, and I freaked out and it scared me because I'm like, "What is that on me? Moving." It was an ant. See, they're setting me up, trying to get me.
all right, Google recently introduced AI generated summaries and search results and is now incorporating ads into them, of course.
Yeah.
Starting soon, Google will test search and shopping ads within AI overviews for US users. An example provided by Google shows an AI generated response to the query, "How do I get wrinkles out of clothes?" followed by a new sponsored section displaying a carousel of wrinkle spray products available from retailers like Walmart and Instacart. I'd have to file this one under, of course. This is exactly what we would expect Google to do. This isn't even news.
I know. And do we need this? I'm already getting ads put against me when I search something anyway. So telling me that you're doing this is cool. But at the same time, then if I'm on a pro account because I pay for Gmail, can I skip these suggested ads in this too? Because I'm tired of all the ads everywhere with everything, especially when I'm paying. Like you told me that I had to pay to get pro services, and you're still scraping my email and trying to serve me ads. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
It's got to stop.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
I get ads for every little thing. I'm in the shower. I get ads in the podcast. I go out of the shower. I whisper to my wife, "Hey, let's plan a trip to Disneyland." 5 minutes later, on my phone, on the browser, everything, I'm getting Disneyland's ads popping up everywhere. I don't know how Google knows these things, but it does. And now I'm going to get ads served to me by AI. Ugh.
Every little step I take, you will get ads. Every little step I make, you're gonna have to pay for ads. It's the worst. It's just bad. But again, like you said, it's just like we expect it. I'm not even upset. I know what it is. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. It's totally fine. It's just the way the world works, right? And like I
Yeah.
said before, it's going to be who can give me the AI at the cheapest rate, which means selling my data and scraping my information and still charge you because they're still going to want to charge you.
Oh yeah. You know what? Let's talk about an AI failure.
What?
Yes. Humane, the startup behind the poorly reviewed AI pen wearable computer, is seeking a buyer for its business, aiming for a price between $750 million and $1 billion, according to Bloomberg. Led by former Apple employees, Imran, I'm skipping all these names. There's way too many names on the list.
Okay.
Humane faces challenges selling the company after the $699 AI pen was criticized for slow responses and a poor user experience. Ah,
I wanted this thing to be something so bad. I wanted this to be a thing because it was small and I just wanted it to be fetch. I wanted it to catch on. I wanted it in my life. And I feel so bad because we all know who reviewed it. We all know who tanked it. We all know who killed it. And the problem was that ChatGPT wasn't fast enough. And now that we have ChatGPT 4.0 and they're displaying the response times on your phone using the app and how
yeah.
quick it is to answer queries and talks, now would be the time to demo the device. If it can update to this new update, or heaven forbid, if you could have just held on a little bit longer for 5.0 before you put it in people's hands, you might have something. But I feel like you've done so much damage to the name recognition and the branding that who's going to buy it? Who's going to who's going to launch it to use it?
Right.
So I wanted this. As bad as it sounds, all I wanted to do was to have someone take this and mod it out for Star Trek, where I could just tap it and do things. How fucking cool would that be? To be completely honest with you,
That would be cool.
it would be really cool if I just, and then I was just, what time is whatever, schedule my whatever, beam me up, Scotty. Like, in my mind, when I first saw that and I saw the demos of it, I'm like, man, like 5 years, if I don't need a phone, I'm just walking around going like this, like, call Ryan, bring the Tesla around to my location. Like, I'm just saying, I got
Tow that Tesla.
that Tesla. Like, that would be so cool. Order tickets for me and such for Miami on Tuesday, earliest flight available, and confirm. Like, that's where that's going to. But it got destroyed, and now that wearable thing that could do those things is now crushed. And whenever somebody launches again, it's going to go through so many hurdles to get someone to believe in it. But I believed in it. It just wasn't ready for demonstration yet. That's all.
I just here's what I've wanted for a long time: a wearable camera that I remember they had a bunch of these for a little while that take photos every like 5-10 seconds or something, and then your whole day is kind of logged and cataloged so that you can look back on memories or you never miss an event or what have you. I think with AI it could basically journal for you and say, hey, for 15 minutes you were doing X, Y, or Z. And then you have like your boss is like, what were you doing for those hours? Well, here's the logs, right? That I would kind of like. However, if I have OpenAI's ChatGPT app on my phone and it's talking to me like Scarlett Johansson and it's sounding all sexy, I don't want to wear a pin that sounds like a robot. I don't want that.
It's
No.
going to sound like it's using ChatGPT, bro. It's going to sound like the options that are available to you. That's my point.
It had the same voices.
It would have. It didn't have the.
Oh,
They just gave you all the voices. This is all
I know.
new. This was running on 3.5. Stop. That's what I'm saying. We could have had this if we would have just waited like 2 more months. Is what I'm saying.
Oh well.
I'm trying to get I'm trying to see what the voice sounds like to see if it.
I've been paying for ChatGPT, so I've had these voices for like 4 months.
Okay.
And yeah, and you know what? I love how they sound on the phone, especially through my speakers in my car. I can have a conversation about just about everything. It's great, but I don't want it for the world. I want it for me. I want to have my personal conversation with my Scarlett Johansson sound alike all by myself. I don't want it accessible to anybody that pokes me in the chest.
Nobody's put on. I mean, excuse me, ladies. Your space is your sacred space. Nobody should be put in the chest. I apologize for him. He's out of control.
I am in control. I'm terrible at this.
Next story, chest poker.
Chest poker.
No, I didn't want my chest poked.
Magic Editor introduced on Google Pixel 8 in October 2023 and has been announced for a free rollout to all Google Photos users in April 2024, is now available on some Google Pixel 7 and 6 devices. The rollout is gradual, so the feature may not appear immediately. Ensure your Pixel phone has the latest Google Photos app version and look for a pop-up in the camera app when the update arrives. I love Magic Eraser. I love it so much. I use it almost every day on my my Pixel 8. I love it, and I'm glad more people are getting access to it. But it does a little bit tick me off that I upgraded to the 8 for this feature, and now everybody else gets it. Okay, I'm going to be like one of those people that are like, don't cancel student loans because I had to pay mine, But I feel kind of like that right now. Like, you know.
Not only did you get robbed, here's the thing about that kills me most about it. It's like, with our new Snapdragon Snuzzle 4000, you could do Magic Eraser. We could never do this before. We're going to roll it back to all the phones in the Stone Age because you could always have done it. But we've been holding bad features because we need to sell more phones to quench the thirst of capitalism. But at least they're giving it to the old people too. And you can hate all you want to and be mad at them. Grandpa, we know college was free when you went to school back in the day. So now you got to pay. Times have changed. All right. I'm a captain student loaner. But it's good and it's so bad. It's like, because they say, oh, we could have never done these things before with previous technology. Well, Apple would never do this. Apple would never, ever do this. So again, it's good for those reasons alone. It really is a good thing.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I remember when Siri rolled out, a lot of people that had just bought iPhones were sorely mistaken that they would get the latest and greatest updates for like 5 years. No, that's never in Apple's plans.
Never. Absolutely. And they could do it. And instead, they mess with your battery and drain the power of your phone to make you a new phone. Instead of giving you anything positive, they destroy your essence and being and take from you in the capitalistic ways of America.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of capitalism,
Yeah.
T-Mobile is set to increase rates for some of its older plans starting in June or July, according to a memo obtained by CNET. John Fryer, president of T-Mobile's consumer group, stated that notifications are being sent to affected customers. The memo does not specify which plans will see price hikes, but confirms that the latest Go 5G plans and customers under the T-Mobile's price lock guarantee will not be affected for now. Fryer explained that this is the first price increase on older plans in nearly a decade, and it's been driven by inflation and rising costs. Thanks, Obama. Wait, are we still mad at Obama for this?
T-Mobile. For the first time in nearly a decade, we're making a change to the price of some of our monthly service plans. Starting on 6/5/24, your rate plan will increase $5 per line per month. You'll keep all the benefits you currently enjoy, and your rate plan type and bill due date will remain the same. For more information, visit blah, 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 blah. I was one of those people that got that text.
I'm
And
sorry.
my bill is for 4 lines is going to go from 190 to 210, and it's annoying. And I will say this, they have been trying to get me to move to a magenta plan or whatever the other plans they have for whatever, and I haven't moved because my price has been the same for a very long time. So now I got to go in and look at their like one of 9 different plans that they have and see if one of them is going to bring me down in lower money, because I don't even have any of the free stuff anymore. They discontinued all the perks. Like I don't get the Hulu or the free Netflix or the anything with this plan anymore. So when they say I keep all my benefits, like you already stripped all the benefits away. You didn't even give any benefits. So inflation, everything's inflation.
I
So
remember when oh, I'm so sorry. I remember when nights and weekends were the only times you could make a phone call or send a text without spending 10 cents per text message. So anyone complaining about the $5 rate increase, including yourself, I'm sorry, but us people who are on other lesser networks like AT&T have already been spending over $200 on less lines than you have, sir. Just count yourself lucky.
wow. You're a horrible person, bro. You are not a foxhole guy. You are not a good person. You are a
No,
bad
I'm
friend.
jealous. That's what I am.
No, you are a bad friend. You don't want student loans. You're mad at these Google people getting their stuff. You want my $20 from me. That's
I'm
$20
more
less out of your pocket. Okay. That's $20 less out of our pocket. That could have been going towards the show. Now I'm $20 less. Now we're even more negatively in the hole before we positively get to making money. And I'll tell you that it's just so annoying. Yeah,
You're going to take back this microphone you sent me, aren't you?
right.
You're going to
So
take it back.
I'm looking at this now. Um, 185 Go Plus gets you Apple TV, Netflix, and a 50 gig hotspot. I don't get none of that. And that's for 185. So and I add one more line and it'll be $5 more. Come on, man. I got the switch. Now, see, that's what they want. They want to get you on another plan that's going to take away something else. Ugh, makes me mad.
Sorry.
Well, maybe I should go
Capitalism.
I'm going to go to the broke people plan. They've got an essentials plan, get unlimited phone plan with essential benefits, unlimited talk and text, unlimited 5G, 4K, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No annual contract. Up to 3 lines with auto pay, 105. Yeah, I don't need Netflix. I don't need Apple. I don't know what this means. I feel like there's something wrong with this. I'm missing something. What am I missing?
I don't know.
That seems like too good of a deal. That makes no sense. Unlimited talk and text. That's really all I care about. The premium data. It's not unlimited data. Gotcha. It's only 480 quote unquote quality video. Dang it. See,
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you. This is not the America that I grew up with. And even though you don't care about me and all of these plans.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I feel bad for every dollar somebody has to spend on something that's a necessity of life. And I'm also saying this because I know in the comments already there's like 1,000 people going, "You really hate me. You want me to spend all my money." No.
That's right.
Look, I have to spend money on just about everything. I understand. I'm just jealous because I've been locked into AT&T for so long and I have lost so much money on their overpriced plans.
And is that the best service you can get out there in Texas where you are?
Unfortunately, yes. I had my phone number changed. That's one of the reasons my phone number changed a few months ago. I switched to Cricket because it was Mint. I switched to Mint Mobile because I'm a sucker for Ryan Reynolds and he was funny in those ads and he brought back, some great people into those ads. The guy from Ghostbusters, can't think of his name right now. Rick Moranis, that's it. He brought him into an ad and I said, take my money. All right. You brought Rick Moranis back in my life. You can take my money right now. And I went out and I bought a plan and I got it on my phone and I canceled my AT&T plan and I had 0 bars at my house.
You didn't test it first?
No, I didn't. Foolishly.
Yeah, it's only $25. You buy the 1-month plan and you get a backup phone and you test it in your area.
See, now you know why I'm bitter.
I know.
Because I don't think about things like that.
No.
I need a friend like you in my life.
You sure do need a friend like me. That's why you don't have a friend like me, because of your behavior today. What's the next story?
I'm having an off day for sure. All right. We already talked about T-Mobile. Come on now. Let's talk about TikTok. All right.
Canceled yet? Can I still TikTok?
Yeah, I don't know. Duobo, ByteDance's AI-powered chatbot, because of course everybody has one now, released in August, has surpassed Baidu's Ernie bot in downloads and now boasts more regular monthly users on iOS in China, according to Sensor Tower data. Despite Ernie's initial rapid growth, Daobao has taken the lead with nearly 9 million downloads compared to Ernie's 8 million in the year leading up to April. Man, everybody's got a chatbot now. Everybody.
Ernie bot Daobao.
Daobao? Is that how I'm from
Daobao?
Texas? I have been slaughtering everybody's names this podcast. I apologize. But I'm getting so tired of all these chatbots.
I hate all of them. So the one thing, TikTok is just not one thing. There's many things that TikTok does better than everybody else. That's why people are trying to take it down, because they want the secret sauce. But when I go to try to search on Instagram now, their little chat thing always pops up because it's the thing that, like, I don't want to talk to you. And then when I'm trying to like close it, it won't close, and it thinks I'm talking to it because I'm frustrated. And it's like, oh, are you having a bad day? And I'm like, well, I am now. I am now. I am having a bad day. And so everything is, all these chatbots are just so annoying. And if the Congress wanted to do something or care about something, they should do something about that. Because I always ask my daughter like if kids are using these things and stuff in school, and sadly enough, some of these lonely kids are using it, pretending like they're talking to like a Kim Kardashian or whatever's going on, depending on the app that you have, and they pretend to be people. And I'm like, that's scary and sad because it kind of placates to your emotions. Yeah, I understand the kind of day you're having. A bad day is like blah blah blah. They just don't understand you. Like, okay, there's only so much sympathetic ear I need to hear that's programmed to like make me feel better about my situation instead of facing it. And all the while you're trying to sell me some lip gloss. Like, I don't need all that. It's freaky, and I don't need it everywhere I go. But again, everybody's got to have their own thing. Ryan, do you have a chatbot?
Not yet, but I'm
So we
starting to
should make
think.
an "Oh Doctor" chatbot that'll help you make these decisions that you make when you make horrible decisions.
You know what? You
90%
could
of my
call your
response.
ex-girlfriend up and have her voice the audio.
Exactly. I mean,
There
people
we
rather hear
go.
my voice. So there you go.
Uh,
And the chatbot would be great because 90% of the time I'll just say, you don't need that. That's stupid. Why are you doing that? You know better. Like, I'm the friend that I was just talking to a girl the other day, and she made a horrible decision. I'm like, oh, you didn't call me about that one. She's like, I never call you because I know what you're gonna say. I only call you when I need you to say what you're gonna say. You're always gonna tell me no or don't do it. And I need someone to tell me that. But when I want to do it, I'm gonna do it anyway and make my own poor decisions. I don't call you because I don't want to hear you tell me no and why it's wrong. It's like, oh, at least we know where we're at. At least now we understand the relationship and the dynamic. You get what you've done and what you're going to do. So knock yourself out. But yeah, we got to get on making my chatbot.
all right, and oh my
If not,
goodness,
I could just use this voice again, and everybody would love it.
please
I'd
no.
date me if I sounded like this. Actually, I probably wouldn't. I would definitely not date me if I sound like that.
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
would
Somebody call Scarlett Johansson.
ASAP.
South Korean tech giant LG Electronics Incorporated has ended its XR extended reality partnership with Meta just 3 months after agreeing to jointly develop XR devices, including virtual headsets. LG is now seeking a new partner for an operating system and software for XR devices planned for release next year, with Amazon emerging as a potential candidate. What do you think about this? I'm a fan.
You know what I think. What'd you say?
I'm a huge fan of this.
A fan of what?
Of Amazon getting into the XR world with LG.
What's XR?
Extended reality. You know, it's like augmented reality, but it has an X, so it sounds better.
Huh. So I told you so, is my response to this. This crap is never going anywhere. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And a matter of fact, the closest thing that'll come to working when it's not going to work again is going to be the relaunch of Google Glass. That's going to be the next closest thing to it being like, man, we almost got it. So unless you got the governmental computer in the contacts that only the CIA and the FBI have and Mossad, then you're not. I shouldn't say all those words in one sentence on any kind of podcast or show. My goodness, I'm gonna have to edit that out. Unless you're a secret spy agent with those special contacts, this doesn't work. It's not going to work. It's never going to happen. It's not real. It doesn't matter. It is all trash.
Yeah.
Tell me how excited you are, XR boy.
You know what? I have been intentionally saying the opposite of what I think your opinion is, just to rile you up, and it's been working. But for me personally, like I said, I got the Meta 3s a few months back. I tried them for a few days. There was some good stuff about it. There was some bad stuff about it. But in the end, it was not worth the money. I was staring at it cross-eyed for too long. It was great. And then what am I going to shoot bows and arrows at the wall all day? You know, there's not enough stuff for it. There's not enough software. not enough support, not enough interest. So
It's been out for so long. They're on version 3.
yeah,
Did you try any porn?
yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say you're in
You
Texas,
know,
you might be blocked. You might not have been able to try.
I'm
Just
I'm
say
gonna send my coworkers
honka honka
this
honka
podcast to try to get them interested in it too.
honka
And now
honka.
they're going to hear that. Now they know this information about me.
I apologize. Honka
It's
honka.
terrible. You know, that's the one thing I would say the Meta Quest 3 is good at is the adult content. And that's because that industry knows how to get new technologies right.
Yeah, they were the
That's,
first ones on Laserdisc. They were the first ones. They killed Flash. Porn killed Flash.
they did. They
That was
killed
all
Flash.
them. They wielded that much power. They're like, look, bro, you want it for free? You keep saying you want it for free. We can't have it for free with Flash. We've got to move to this MP4 thing. These kids are out here killing it with the new wave stuff. We're switching it all. And they took down a behemoth with that one stroke.
See what you did there.
I saw what I did. I'm a horrible person.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
that the last story?
No, there's one more story, and I know it's you that put it in here
We put it where we're
because
at.
it's sports related.
Yeah.
Netflix will stream live NFL games starting this season, marking a significant shift in the sports media landscape. The streaming giant has secured the rights to broadcast NFL's 2 new Christmas Day games. This year, Netflix will stream the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens versus the Houston Texans, giving it an immediate access to major live sports rights in the United States.
The only
This
reason I watch commercials anymore is because of sports. Go ahead and say what you're going to say. I apologize.
Oh, I was just going to say this is great and all, but where's my esports? All right.
So the problem is that, as I was saying, the only commercials I watch anymore are during live sports, during a baseball game, basketball game, football game, etc., so on and so forth. And the fact that now, if I wanted to watch all the games, I could just buy a little NFL ticket or whatever. But now you can buy an NFL ticket. Now there's games only on Amazon. There's games only on Peacock. And now there's games only on Netflix. There's games where Apple TV is now bundling with Disney and Netflix to get a bundle subscription so that you can watch all the games. And I said to myself, this is freaking cable television. How did we get to the point where if you want to watch all the games, it costs $588 a year to be able to watch the games of football? And now they want to bundle all the streaming services together so that you can watch football. And it's going to start happening with basketball because they're renegotiating their deals. And it's going to happen to baseball when they renegotiate their deals because they renegotiated before and it's on Apple TV Friday nights and all this and that. And other people are going to get involved. It's absolutely disgusting. What do they call it forever? Cord cutting? Cut the cord?
Yeah.
Get me duct tape. Let's connect all these freaking cords back up and just go back to paying Comcast. And my God, it's absolutely insane. I put it on there because technology has fumbled the bag at this point because you're in a model where they have to, again, create revenue every quarter. And there's no revenue to be had. Everybody's got Netflix already. So now you're just raising the price on it. It's cheaper just to get cable. And I'm so upset at all of it. I hate everything. I hate it.
Today's episode has been brought to you by Disney Plus, Hulu, Max Prime,
and T-Mobile.
I think we when Netflix first came with the streaming and everyone's like, wow, I can spend, what was it, $8 a month at the time, and I can get all these new movies and TV shows and these back catalogs of stuff, and I don't ever have to buy a DVD again. I thought, wow, this is great. And I should have known when that happened that it meant that the cable companies were immediately looking into, okay, we're going to get into streaming so that we can piecemeal out all the content and spread it across all these networks. Have you noticed that they'll cancel a show and then it'll appear on a streaming network with new episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they sell it to them.
Tell me that's not planned. That's planned. That's a deal. they're saying, oh, we're going to cancel the show. And then 3 months later, there's all new episodes already made and on this other network, because they know, hey, they're going to spend $10 on us just to get that show. And then we're going to cancel a show and we're going to let you put it on your network. It's ridiculous. There's a lot of backroom deals going on. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Pirate where you can. So, again,
Plex.
thank you for being here. That is Ryan Matthew Pearson, PC Gazer. Right now, I'm not sure if Spotify and iTunes is up. They had me changing things around, and I'm waiting for a confirmation email. So if not, you can just check it out here on YouTube, and all the feeds will be fixed hopefully within the next week before our next episode. And yeah, you got anything you want to say to the people, Ryan, before we leave?
I'm sorry, but I want you to spend all of your money on bull crap.
Yeah, if you got T-Mobile,
$5 a month is not too much to pay extra after 20 years of having this old plan with on the old price.
it's $5 per line, and I've got 92 lines. That adds up. Like, it's not, if it was just $5, I wouldn't have said anything. Like, if they said after $5, yes. Oh, God.
I am not going to be the co-host next week, I'm sure.
And probably not. I'm going to find somebody to pay me $20 a month to take your spot. Like, who wants it?
The comments are like,
that's $5
this
per
Ryan
week.
guy sucks.
$5. Yeah, he's just out here just chilling for the man. He's a corporate spy working for the FBI. Have a great night. We'll see you next week. Bye.